Hi, I'm Russ Wenninger. I'm a lawyer with Wenninger Jong. When engaging in estate planning, there are a number of tools that can be used to look after disabled family members, in particular disabled adult children. For starters, a person can set up a testamentary trust through their will to provide for a disabled family member. Another estate planning strategy could involve contributing to a disabled adult child's registered disability savings plan, RDSP, while you're still alive. Still, another strategy could involve the use of an annuity to give the disabled child predictable monetary payments over time. While some of these strategies could also be used for adult children who are simply bad with money, there are two questions that you should ask yourself. For starters, is employing such a strategy worth it when considering the time and effort involved? And secondly, is such a strategy worth it when considering the amount of money involved? The answer to those questions may be yes or no. Sometimes I encounter parents who fret about leaving their adult child, say, $5,000 because they believe the child will just, quote unquote, waste the money. For a relatively small amount of money, yes, $5,000 is a relatively small sum. I personally don't think it makes sense to disinherit the child just because they'll waste it. In other cases, parents may wish to create a way to control the money for the child so that the child will have something for the rest of their lifetime. Maybe that's realistic, maybe it's not. If the amount of money doesn't exceed, say, $100,000, then the prospect of supporting the child for life in any meaningful way probably isn't a realistic one. If the child received, say, a few $100s a month off of interest from a $100,000 inheritance held in trust, that probably wouldn't be life-changing, and it may end up being a whole lot of work over a long period of time for whoever happens to be administering the trust. Also, if you create a trust that's administered by another family member, that may just be setting things up so that your adult child will have ongoing conflict with that family member. If the money is enough to support the child for life, then maybe the possibility of such conflict is worth the risk. However, if the adult child will only be able to go on a movie date once a month with the proceeds, it's arguably not worth the headache. Then there's also the issue of whether you should treat your adult child like a child or like an adult. If your adult child has always been financially dependent on you, then parenting beyond the grave may be justified. But if you're simply unhappy with your adult child's financial choices, but they're otherwise financially independent of you, then it may be advisable to cut the umbilical cord, metaphorically speaking. In most cases, when dealing with an adult child who isn't disabled, it makes sense to let your adult child spend their money as they see fit, either with an inheritance from you or without one. In life, there are only so many things you can control, and in death, there are even fewer things that can be controlled. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thank you for watching.